Okay. Okay. So we're recording, and let me get my presentation. Ooh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Tonight, we're talking about social media, how all libraries, particularly reference libraries, can utilize it more and effectively outreach and information.
Whitney?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your voice is kind of going in and out.
Okay.
Try hitting the speaker button on our end.
Oh, where's the speaker button?
Hold on a second.
Okay. Because I'm hearing a lot of feedback.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to put it on mute and try talk speaking.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect.
Yay. Okay. Thank y'all. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. So let me just repeat what I said. Tonight I'm going to be talking about social media and how all librarians, but particularly reference and instruction librarians, can utilize it more confidently and effectively in their outreach and information literacy instruction. I've provided a handout in Word format that has some useful resources and a few blank sections that you can fill in as we go through the last part of the lesson. Okay, I'm going to begin with a brief overview of information literacy and social media literature in the library science field, and then I'm going to discuss why it's such an important skill for librarians to possess, and then we'll go over some social media tips with concentration on Facebook and and finally, I'm going to conclude the short summary of the content.
Whitney?
Yeah?
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
That's cool.
We just want to make sure, are we looking at your PowerPoint or are we looking at a YouTube?
Oh, wow, you are. That's not helpful, is it? Okay, let me stop that. Yeah.
We see you.
Okay, here we go. How's that?
Yes, we're good now.
Okay. I'm not going to start, but I'm just going to start from the beginning. There we go. And then that was the first slide after the title slide where I kind of summed up what we're going to talk about. And here we go. That's the one we should be on now. All right. The Association of College and Research Libraries, division of the American Library Association, define information literacy as a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use the needed information effectively. This was a relatively straightforward concept in libraries until the digital revolution began in the 90s. This has culminated in what we call Web 2.0. This term was coined by Tim O'Reilly, and he describes it as the changing trends in the use of World Wide Web technology and web design, which aim to enhance creativity, communications, secure information sharing, collaboration, and functionality of the web. Web 2.0 has become so popular and utilized in libraries and education settings that now we have the term Library 2.0 and Education 2.0. And that's even led us to Pedagogy 2.0. I apologize if I said that wrong, but I think it's pedagogy. Educators are trying to use these new applications and incorporate the key elements of personalization, participation, and productivity into a new learning paradigm. And some researchers believe that we should expand the term and the definition of information literacy. For instance, Mackey and Jacobson, they assert that meta-literacy is a more appropriate term because it expands upon the traditional skills-based approach to understanding information, and that it promotes critical thinking and collaboration in a digital age, which they believe provides a more comprehensive framework to effectively participate in social media and online communities. Likewise, Wittig and Gratano believe that information literacy in the age of social media requires a kind of meta-literacy, and that the previous understandings of information literacy did not, in their words, educators must teach themselves and their students to be critically aware of what they do with information, otherwise the tools will make the decisions for them. And similarly, Secker uses the term transliteracy because she believes it to be a more appropriate for understanding the full range of social media. So, looking at some social media statistics, social media is, basically an online application which allows users to share or create content and collaborate with others. You see Twitter has about 288 million monthly active users, Facebook 890 million daily, which is insane. And 80% of Twitter users are mobile, 745 are mobile users on Facebook. So as you can see, they're two of the most popular social networking sites on the internet. According to the Alexa rankings, which rank internet sites based on their traffic, as of March 1st, results showed that Facebook had 900 million unique visitors and Twitter had 310 million. So that's not those of us who go like 50 times a day. That's every unique person. And there are many other things.
Whitney,
Yeah.
are you still on the home slide, or are you moving into a statistics slide?
I moved to the statistics slide. Is it not showing?
You're still on the home slide.
Why?
I'm so sorry.
It's not your. Why does that?
Now it changed.
Now it's on there.
Okay, I guess I need to stay out of slideshow mode. It doesn't like that, does it? How is this? Is that bigger?
The same. Oh, now it's
Perfect.
perfect.
Okay, good. I apologize. Thank y'all.
That's okay. We're going to put you back on mute.
Do you see my pretty chart though?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I like my chart.
Awesome.
Okay, so that was back on the information literacy, and now we're on the statistics. Okay. So about 500 million tweets are sent per day. 75% of the Twitter accounts are outside the U.S., which makes sense because there's 6 billion people, and we're only 350 million or so in the U.S. But aside from Twitter and Facebook, there are a lot of other great social networking sites. There's Delicious, which is a social bookmarking site. Instagram, which is similar to Twitter but pictures. LinkedIn, which is like an online resume sort of place. Pinterest, and Storify. However, due to our time constraint tonight, we're going to be focusing primarily on Facebook and Twitter due to their popularity with the overall internet. Okay, slide 5. In a presentation with helping students become literate in a digital networking-based society, Fernandez Villavicencio states that social networks are tools of potentially great impact on society and are highly recommended for use in educational activities. She goes on to say that at her school, librarians are implementing the use of Twitter and Facebook to communicate better with their users, including the promotion of training activities on information literacy. Indeed, some libraries are already using social media and other Web 2.0 tools to enhance or improve their services and operations. Another study by Zhu and Chu of some academic libraries in New York State found that the most adopted tools by libraries in their study were instant messaging, blogs, and RSS, which is kind of like a feed of news stories and blogs that you can set up. However, there are challenges to implementing social media successfully, and not all libraries are embracing social media. Lou noted some of the challenges. Online vandalism. We're all familiar with Wikipedia and how the community editing tool or aspect of it can be manipulated and lead to false posts. Computer literacy. It may not be common, but millennials can still be digital foreigners who may not possess the high-level computer literacy necessary to successfully interact on social media. If they come from perhaps a lower socioeconomic class or a rural setting, that it's not very common. Amusement. Some of those who frequent social media have, the temptation to use it more for entertainment or social purposes, and so that can sometimes distract us from exploring its educational potential. as for internal resistance, according to Click and Petit, sometimes the biggest resistance to these technologies can be internal. However, they also go on to conclude that there are two very compelling reasons for libraries to use these technologies. First, users are already there and may be talking about us. Second, by using these technologies, we better understand our users and help them become savvier consumers and creators of information. And furthermore, they also believe that these technologies will facilitate professional development for librarians that might be geographically isolated from their colleagues in home countries. And they found that social media is great for removing communication barriers and should not be underestimated. Okay. So, is this really a necessary skill for an instruction librarian? Yes, it absolutely is. As technology advances, social networking skills are becoming a must in the library and information professional job market. A quick search of the web revealed 3 librarian positions at 3 different academic libraries, all of which required social media skills. At Bowdoin College Library in Maine, they're hiring for a social science research and instruction librarian, and their preferred qualifications list demonstrated success in developing programs targeted at undergrad students, experience with digital humanities tools, and experience using social media successfully in a library setting. Then there's Glendale Community College in California, which is hiring for an emerging technologies librarian. Their duties list that their candidates should be able to develop and maintain a social media initiative for the library, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as promote library resources and services to students, faculty, staff through traditional and social media. Finally, in Florida at Broward College, they're hiring for an instruction librarian and state that their applicants should be conversant with social networking software. Furthermore, even if the employer doesn't specify social media skills as a duty, instruction librarians must still be mindful of their patrons' needs and the user experience they are providing. If they predominantly serve a technologically savvy population, then they're limiting themselves by not offering community outreach via social media. Alright, so this is the first of our 3 pop quizzes. If you're not familiar with the movie Speed, which came out in the 90s and starred Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, the villain, played by Dennis Hopper, has an ongoing shtick with Keanu Reeves where he gives him a pop quiz scenario and asks him what is he going to do. GIFs are, on a more academic note, GIFs are fairly popular on social media, and so when used appropriately, they can be a great way to lighten the mood or get your patrons' attention on a news feed or a timeline that's sometimes clogged with uninteresting and long-winded posts. So, what is the second most popular, I can't even talk, what is the second most popular social media website? Is it A, Facebook, B, LinkedIn, D, Instagram, or C, Twitter?
What are we saying? Micah says A, I say C, and Jackie's going with C.
It is C, Twitter, because it's the second most popular, but Facebook is the most popular, Micah, so you're close. But yeah, Facebook has about close to 900 million unique users a month, whereas Twitter has about 310 million, which seems like a big difference, but in terms of social media, those 2 are the top 2, as far as I know. Okay. So, okay, and moving on to some social media tips. We all know it's important to stay aware of new trends with technology and libraries. One of the ways social networking helps with this professional development is through Facebook groups like Communications and Information Literacy and the National Forum on Information Literacy. These groups allow librarians and information professionals to come together and discuss the changes in libraries or ask questions they may have to other professionals in the field. Similarly, blogs are also a good place for librarians to network. Twitter, we've touched on, it is a good tool, but it requires users to be succinct and to the point in their commentary and questions, because it only allows users 140 characters per tweet, which characters, that's your spacing, your punctuation, or lack thereof sometimes. And another aspect of Twitter is the hashtag chats, which we're going to get to in a few moments. But some of the Twitter accounts I'd recommend following, and these are also on your handout if you need. They should be on the third page. The National Forum on Information Literacy, Simple K-12, Librarians Information Literacy Annual Conference, the Association for Information Science and Technology, that's a really good one. CLIP Information Literacy Group, which is based in the UK, I believe. And then there's some others listed as well. Other forms of social networking that librarians can implement to broaden their user services are social bookmarking and wikis. I mentioned social bookmarking earlier with Delicious. What a social bookmark is a website that allows you to bookmark your favorite internet websites, and you can categorize them with a tagging feature. And the twist being that you can access these favorites or bookmarks from any computer that has internet access. You don't have to be on your home computer or your work computer. And you can also make it a private list, public, or share it with others. And Delicious is the most popular of those sites. And it's kind of similar to Pinterest, except Pinterest is more of an image-based social bookmarking site. This allows users to save the image of something they love. Say, around Christmas time, I saw a Christmas tree made out of old textbooks at a library, and so I pinned that on Pinterest. And what happens is when someone goes to that Pinterest page and they click on it, it will take them to the do-it-yourself website that tells you how to make your own. Of course, sometimes managing several sites can be taxing, so what some librarians do is they link their accounts together so that when they pin something on Pinterest, it will go to their Twitter account, which might be linked to their Facebook account, and they're all updated at once across the board, which is nice. Okay, so here's some simple social media tips. Keep the goal of your post at the top of your mind. Why are you posting this? Write a compelling headline. Be precise and/or funny if you can swing it. Lead with the good stuff. Give a solid overview in first phrase. Make every word count. Don't abbreviate if you can help it, unless it's a very common abbreviation like BC for because. Keep it simple. Less is more. Link to a full story if it requires more than 140 characters. Give context. Use keywords and hashtags. For instance, if you're being sarcastic, which sometimes does not go over very well on the internet, you might post something but give it a amusing hashtag to let people know you're joking. Graphics expand story. Visually describe your headline, scan an image, or take a picture if necessary. People make things interesting. Use a conversational tone. One of the best parts of social media is its sort of informal and relaxed atmosphere, so you don't want to be too stiff with your language use. And then consider the reader. Respect your audience and think twice before you post. If you're ever in doubt and you're not sure if you should post something, it's best to probably hold back. Okay. Just a few more social media tips here. You do want to build a strong network, but you don't want to build your network too quickly. Find other professionals to network with or patrons to interact with. However, don't just follow or friend someone because they do the same to you. Be discerning about who you follow because you want quality interactions over quantity. Do be engaging, but don't use generic marketing techniques. Pre-scheduled social media posting may make your life easy, but you want to be mindful that sometimes events occur in the time span between when your post is created and when it's actually posted, and that may require you to scrap the post entirely. A good example of this was in the immediate aftermath of the Sandy Hook massacre several years ago. There were I saw a lot of pushback on social media for companies that continued to post their automated tweets, and people were talking about it was insensitive and that they should have suspended the automated tweets. And yeah, I mean, you understand the companies, I'm sure, meant nothing by it, but it's kind of a slippery slope, I suppose. Do be a good listener, but don't be pushy. And this is pretty self-explanatory. Again, it's an informal setting, so it requires a more relaxed but appropriate attitude of users. And there's some other good tips here to the side about not spamming or forgetting to thank people. Okay. So now we're going to look at the anatomy of a tweet, and that should be on your second page of your handout. It's a pretty handy diagram. If you want, you can turn to your second page and fill in the blanks as I go along with the diagram. So first we have the profile picture. This is, of course, the personal image uploaded to your Twitter profile in the Settings tab. No one wants to follow a user with no picture, because on Twitter it's just like a little egg-shaped, and I know on Facebook it's a silhouette of a person. If you're a business, it's kind of unprofessional. It doesn't have to be your face, but if it's an officially sanctioned account, you should be able to utilize a library's logo, or maybe take a picture of the exterior of the library and use that. Second, you have your Twitter account name, and that's, of course, the name of your account. You can use your real name or change it. It doesn't have to reflect your username. I know around Christmas, a lot of times people will change it, or Halloween, they'll change it to sort of seasonally themed names, is what I've noticed. Like at Christmas, I would be Winter Waddell instead of Whitney Waddell. Or at Halloween, I might be Whitney Stein Waddell. I don't know. It can be changed, basically. Alright. Third is your Twitter @username, which is your unique identity, and it's also your URL. If you want to go to your profile immediately, you could go to twitter.com/Whitney Waddell or whatever your username is. The @ is also used to mention people in tweets, like hello @Twitter or hello @Whitney. Okay, fourth is the tweet timestamp and date. Obviously, this tells you when the tweet was sent. Click the date or the time to view a permanent link for the tweet. Fifth is your tweet text. This is your actual tweet, and every tweet, of course, must fit into a space that's under 140 characters, which is just about the right size for a simple post or observation. Sixth is a link, which isn't required, but you're able to link to other sites, articles, photos, or videos. Seventh is the infamous hashtag. A hashtag is, of course, any word or phrase with the hash symbol immediately in front of it. I've heard it called a pound sign, little hash marks, but it's a hashtag is what it's called. This symbol turns the word into a link that makes it easier to find and follow a conversation about that topic. Hashtags are great, but don't overuse them. I would recommend no more than 2 or 3 hashtags in a tweet. And finally, we have your tweet actions. Here you can reply to, retweet, and favorite a tweet. Similar to sharing a Facebook post, a retweet reposts the tweet onto your timeline for your followers to view it. And likewise, a favorite is the Twitter equivalent of a like on Facebook. So now we have our second pop quiz featuring Miss Emma Stone. And recapping what we've discussed about tweets, what is the character limit of every tweet? We have A, 270 characters, B, 140 characters, C, 120 characters, or D, 90 characters.
Micah says D. I'm kidding. We all agree it is B.
Okay, cool. And you're correct, of course.
And we are laughing when you're funny. We feel bad that you can't hear us.
Well, I think my GIFs can't be seen in motion. Awesome. I worked hard. But anyway. Okay. Let's see where on. Alright. And so, here's another Twitter-specific cheat sheet, which actually it does kind of recommend 120 characters instead of 140 for your tweets. That way, they're saying people can retweet with their name or something else in front of it if they choose to. So, I mentioned hashtags and the chats earlier. They're a very useful aspect of Twitter for professional development. I think we kind of covered what hashtags are, but basically the point of hashtags is if you follow a lot of users on social media, sometimes you find posts, or finding a post on a specific topic, say the Oscars, is really difficult. So if you go in and you type hashtag Oscars 2015, you might come up with a whole bunch from all the Twitter users who are talking about the Oscars with that hashtag. And let's see here. So if you look at your handout, at the top on the first page, I created a word cloud on Wordle using the most common and most popular hashtag chats for librarian and information professionals. And there's quite a bit, obviously, but on the second page there's some other blanks for you to fill in with the most useful Twitter chats, and that's the ones I have listed to the side over here. The first is libchat, and this is a hashtag chat that was created in 2011. It takes place every Wednesday evening from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's become a clearinghouse for LIS information as well as a place for librarians to get answers and get in touch with one another. Next is INALJ chat, which I love, personally. It's an excellent chat for new librarians and or librarians seeking employment. It was created by Naomi House. She runs the job site, I Need a Library Job. And this chat happens every Monday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. For instruction librarians, CritLib is a great resource. This chat takes place every other Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and they storify the conversations for those who want to review it if they're not able to make the chat. I mentioned Storify just briefly earlier. What it is a social media site that allows users to aggregate posts from multiple types of social media into an organized and cohesive manner. So if my entire Facebook newsfeed is talking about the royal baby, and then my Twitter timeline is talking about the royal baby, and I want to make a storify of it and put it in a certain order, I can pull these individual Facebook posts and Twitter posts and make them into a list on here, and I can rearrange them, and I can either put them in chronological order or I can arrange them to where they make more sense in a sort of an organized way, kind of like a Pathfinder but with social media. It's nifty, I promise. Anyway. So, finally we have TL Chat. This is also geared towards instruction librarians and school media specialists, and it seems to be populated more by teachers and school librarians. It's the second Monday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern. Always are Eastern Time, nothing Central Time. Apart from using Twitter chats for your own continuing education and professional development, you can also incorporate social media into your instruction and reference services. In their study, Click and Petit spoke with the librarian who found that even though his library did not have a social media profile, his students were still talking about them, sometimes in general comments like, I'm going to the library at UT Martin or whatever. But sometimes they would complain, like, I can't find this book. This place is laid out horribly. Why can't I find what I want? So he decided that at least creating an internet presence would allow them to track these comments and concerns and make the changes necessary or accommodations for their patrons. And so in doing this, they've enabled a previously silent patron base, the remote or distance users, and digital natives to have their opinions heard by the library in this newer format. Okay, and our final pop quiz featuring the minions from Despicable Me, which are awesome, or who are awesome. Which of the following symbols is a hashtag? A, that sign. If I say what they are, I'm gonna give it away, but anyway. B, C, or D?
Well, I think it's D. But
You are right. Good job. And
Turn it off. It's on. Turn it off.
oh,
oh,
hi. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Did you hear us?
Yeah, you said the hashtag
D?
symbol.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
And I was just saying that we were all excited that you used the minions.
Oh, okay, good. It really
We're
is
trying to give you some interaction.
Okay, so in conclusion, what have we learned? We've learned that social media and Web 2.0 has led to a redefining of information literacy and the exploration of developing new frameworks to accommodate users. We've learned that social media can be an excellent tool for community outreach, but librarians and information professionals must have a plan and know their audience. Don't just jump into social media without a plan. Survey the users, find out what type of social media they engage with most frequently. Provide valuable, appropriate content for users and engage with them to find out how to ensure they have a better user experience. And finally, we covered the importance of professional development. Staff should be trained in social media, and once they are trained, they'll be able to use social media more effectively and to continue their professional development with social media. And these are my lovely references. Okay. Hi, and that's it. I see y'all. Okay, I'm going to stop the broadcast.